times are changing. The grand reset and transition is upon us. We are leaving the age of compromise and stagnation.
The energy has been dense.
Ready to embrace the age of ascension.
The era of expanded possibilities.
New guidelines for the future have become defined, and the path towards enlightenment has been set. Avoid mainstream, genetically modified propaganda. Inner Light Radio is here to provide information and analysis to assist us all along our journey.
For the upliftment of humanity.
This is InnerLightRadio.com. We are the healing frequency.
Taking that deep breath, setting back, relaxing. Time to tune into yourself. Taking a deep breath of fresh air. Thankful for the trees and the bees and all of humankind. Taking those deep breaths.
I can make your dreams come true. Come on and dance with me. Ladies, get up off your seats. Come on and dance with me. Gentlemen, get on your feet. Come on and dance with me. Say the word and I'll summon the band.
Greetings and love and kindness, family. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, the one and only Conscious Self Healthcare educator and host of the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show. Every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Community, this is your time to share your wellness stories and how you move from disease care to conscious self-health care. I want to hear your story. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation each Wednesday. Call in and share how you shift out of chronic disease care stress. Right here on InnerLightRadio.com, the healing frequency. This is Dr. K, and I am looking forward to our conversation. So call in and share. Health is consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. Come on, family. It's time to rock the world with the new frontier of conscious self-health care, while I share my wellness story with you right here on InnerLightRadio.com, the healing frequency. Taking that deep breath, time to sit back, relax, and tune into yourself. Thank you for tuning in today, fam. 9/2/2020. September the 2nd, 2020 is already here. What you doing for yourself, family? In this time of COVID maskology, social distancing, separation, but being at home with your whole family now. Oh, it's a beautiful time if you look at it that way. You're sitting back and you're reintroducing yourselves to each other, your family members, your core family members. Thankful for those that have that opportunity and have core family members with them. I know you're feeling the love, and the ones that don't, you're feeling like you're missing love, but you cannot. Love is laws of vibrational energy, so vibrate to your family's frequency. They're right there with you. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, host of the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show, right here every Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday, that is. The time to focus on yourself and on your health care. Thank you for coming aboard. Woo, woo! All aboard the friendship train to healthcare freedom. We're on a Harriet Tubman's ride, and there is no greater ride to healthcare freedom than being on a Harriet Tubman's ride. Because your mind was made up when you came aboard, and when you said stop by and pick me up, I want to get on aboard that friendship train. Ours is just a Harriet Tubman's ride to healthcare freedom, helping you shift out of chronic disease, care, stress, and becoming your own wellness doctor by way of Thinkonomics, which is a way of thinking that gives you the opportunity to learn the truth about yourself. And when you get stuck, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Thank you for tuning into this live broadcast. I am your host, Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks. We're going to be doing 2 energetically speaking conversations through this hour right here, recorded earlier today because of the vibrational frequency that my body is back in due to the stress, where I can feel everything on one side. All energetic vibrations. The flood in the body, I feel it all, and one side I don't. Trying to get those sides back to being balanced after I stomped my toe last week and just sent everything into this high vibratorial state. Can't even be around computers right now. I keep shutting them down. The vibrations seem to be high, and I'm just thankful that I started doing these energetically speaking recordings before all this occurred. I'm going to be sharing one with you today that's about 14 minutes. It talks about the advantage of the biofield scan, which I offer you through Nest. You will hear that information in my 3 commercials that will play right after this first broadcasting recorded show that's talking about the advantage of biofield scans over allopathic medicine and that whole field and where we are with that. I get a lot of calls that's asking me to explain that, and I keep trying to tell people kind of a person that I've been and I've always been as an educator, give you the information, then mostly have you research and send you to the right area to get the information to read for yourself, because that way you're making it your own before somebody interprets it for you and explains it to you. So I do that a lot with people, and they tend to like, well, I'm calling you to say that I want to work with you and you're telling me to go read. Well, it's part of working with me is a part of reading, adjusting yourself to the physics of bioenergetic medicine and how that relates to the person that you are today. So we're going to sit back and listen to 2 recordings. One is actually, like I said, about 14 minutes long. We'll do our commercials, our song, and then the last recording is actually about 30 minutes. I may get back and I may not get back because it'll roll like that. But I'm sitting back, I'm relaxing, I'm taking my deep breaths just like I'm asking you to do. I may be lengthicizing, or I may be on my surgeon master bed with the rollers rolling down my back, looking out my window where I feel the sun beaming down on my face, and I look up and I see the branches of the trees. And I remember that talk that I shared with you last week on how oxygen gets into the air from the trees, and that's why we plant trees everywhere, because we have that tree in our body, the lymphatic system. So as you sit back and get ready to listen to the recordings for today's show, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to be deep breathing with you and relaxing and calming my body down from having this headphone on my head, and my whole right side is just like a tornado, just like the ocean just going so fast, and the water is just, the waves are just going back and forth. That's how I feel with this headset on now again. But I'm going to get my body back in balance again. But I'm going to start off by saying this to you, and then the next sound you will hear is the pre-recorded broadcast show for today, 9/2/2020. God, August went by so fast. I can't believe September's here already. My friend on Facebook, his name is Roger Ward. I love this message from him. It's very quick. He says, "Good morning, dear friends," from Roger. This weekend, let's consider that most of us need people around us who empower and help us feel able, on track, in balance, and hopeful. We need people who tell us we can, even if they do not use words, they believe in us. And that belief comes shining through. We look at them, and what we see reflected back is our power. But sometimes we run into those who instead try to convince us of their power, convincing us that they have all the answers, that we need them to be able to see clearly. That without them, we will not be able to find our way. They don't believe in us. They only believe in themselves. That's not empowerment. That's an approach designed to create dependency, often unhealthy dependency. Today, let's cultivate relationships with people who make us feel like we can, who help us know that we are on track, right where we need to be. Let's spend time with people who help us know that we can trust ourselves. Let's also speak and seek out people who empower us and lets us learn to empower those we love. And during those times when no one's around, know that we can empower each other. Many blessings to you and yours today, my very, very dear friends from Roger and myself. It's time to tune into yourself, honor who you are, the divine being. And if by chance you need to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal health care plan, that's what you're doing right here on the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show, emancipating yourself from medical mental slavery by burying disease thinking. The next sound you will hear is the recorded show as we sit back and take those deep breaths and tune into ourselves. Thank you for tuning into the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show this week. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, or you may be lymphosizing on your lymphocyzer. Taking those deep, deep breaths. But you are tuned in to the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show, and I'm your host, Khadijah, Davis-Foulks. This is the bioenergetically speaking portion of our show for 9/2/2020, September the 2nd, 2020, in this time of COVID maskology. Different perspectives are coming up on your health care. We know about a lot of healthcare systems. We might not be that familiar with the bioenergetic system that I offer from Nest Health. And I'm often asked this question when people call me from the show or any materials that I have. They tell me what they have and ask me what I can do for them. And the first thing I must say is that I don't work with diseases, and that throws them totally off. And so then we get into a conversation. Normally what I do is I refer them to my website or to Nest Health website to sit back and read and understand the bioenergetic body. Most African Americans, black people, understand the various energies of the body field that we have, but they don't oftentimes know how to connect them to the physical aspects of things. The bioenergetic body field reads all the way down, and the cells have fields themselves. Every cell has a field around it, and it reads all the way up, so you get a better picture of what's going on with your energetic body and your human body and their relationship together. And according to what you know and understand about healthcare and various healthcare structures, you can decide which way that you want to go to support your body and your health. It may be mainstream and it may not, but I'm here as a bioenergetic wellness specialist, truly bioenergetic, being in the vibration. And now I have a tool that matches with my understanding of that will help you better get a better reading on your body. So at this particular time, I went out and got an article from the co-founder of Nest Health, Harry Massey, that can put things in a quick perspective for you about what you're hearing when I say through my commercials what we can do for you when you align with the conscious thinking that is available through understanding the bioenergetics of your body, which is a great thing. And we heard many little catchphrases from most people that you may know, and me explaining this will help you understand how you can better become your own wellness doctor. So in answering these questions that have come to me, I've decided to share again these two articles from Harry Massey, co-founder of Nest Health, to understand how the human body field scan works and what is reading and how you can make your own healthcare choices. So here I go. Sit back, take a deep breath, as I am doing, because we've now added in these bioenergetic speaking conversations. So during the live show, I can sit back with you and take a deeper breath while I am totally healing bioenergetically, consciously, pharmaceutical free from a stroke. I'm in my second year, and I am having some current issues because of stomping my body, my big toe. I put myself in a higher vibration on that side that I can feel even more. And so now I am realigning my thinking to calm that activity down some. And now you may understand what I be saying when I be saying it on the show, as I share with you how Nest Health Body Field Scan works. Sit back and take a deep breath. And again, thank you for joining me on the live show today, 9/2/2020, and you should hear another bioenergetic talk from me, and then I'll be talking to you next week. The average person is not familiar with the human body field. The advantage of a body field scan over allopathic medicine. You likely know a body field scan takes a few seconds. After all, it's one of the biggest benefits. You get a quick, accurate overview of your entire body on an array of screens with color-coded priorities that you can read, interpret, and understand independently of the bioenergetic practitioner. A bioenergetics practitioner can take the results from the assessment and suggest a course of action. Meanwhile, allopathic medicine might take months and thousands of dollars. Now, the results you get from a body field scan is different than what you'll get from a blood test. One talks about deficiencies in nutrients, while the other highlights parts of your body field that are not optimally functioning or require your attention. What happens in a scan is the program quickly goes through a multitude of questions pertaining to your body, how it interacts with the environment, and how the environment interacts with your body. Interpreting the body field assessment. Even with this level of repeated verification, nothing is assumed about the severity of a reading. We assume nothing about whether it's chronic or acute. Even if the reading does represent something chronic in the body field, it's important to remember that changes in the body field precede changes in the physical body and might not yet be seen in someone's physical symptoms. In other words, it might not have started manifesting in the physical body yet, or it hasn't become noticeable. The scan looks at root causes, not end results. And that's what we want to correct. The root cause. That's why bioenergetic practitioners never attempt to make a diagnosis. As you can imagine, though, when entire patterns of test items are all related to something in the body, or test items frequently showing up in monthly assessments, there's a stronger indication that something physical or something that could soon become physical is at play. Bioenergetic scan, a real world example. A young girl in a wheelchair was brought to a bioenergetic practitioner who was not told what was happening with her. The parents wanted to see if the practitioner could pick up what was wrong without any evidence beyond the wheelchair. Normally, a practitioner would work with someone based on an intake form, which will spell out the client's symptoms, medical diagnoses and health goals. So the practitioner explained that the system could not make a diagnosis, but he could tell them what was happening on the level of the body field. He scanned the girl, reviewed the results, and told the parents that it appeared that there was a problem in the body field relating to calcium metabolism. As it turned out, the girl had osteoporosis, and the family had spent thousands of dollars at a Mayo clinic to effectively learn the same thing, that there was a problem with calcium metabolism. The difference between doctors and a bioenergetic practitioner, as I am, the practitioner was right to say that he cannot make a diagnosis, but he could observe a pattern within the field that related directly to what had been medically diagnosed elsewhere. Of course, the similarities in there. Based on this scan, a bioenergetic practitioner will provide remedies to correct the body field and support its ability to recognize and use calcium. This approach would be about turning the story around for a client. Doctors, on the other hand, would take a different approach. If bones are unable to continue building themselves with calcium, then they are going to get weaker as they get rid of old cells. To address this, doctors will recommend a drug to prevent the bones from losing these old cells. That, after all, is the symptom, right? This drug will keep the bones from getting weaker, right? Just one problem. When bones get rid of cells, they do so because the cells are dead. So the medical approach is to keep those dead cells in the body. And in layman terms, we call that rotting. This is an example of how medical testing is such a partial approach. Yes, at times it provides important insights, even critical insights. But often it takes tests after tests after tests after tests before anything is discovered. Even then, it gives just one detail and a much larger story. Now, focusing on fixing that one detail and you alter the rest of the story without meaning to. For instance, if all you cared about is bone density and not bone quality, then keeping dead cells in a bone might make sense. But if you care about the bone is rotting, then you might need and want another approach. This partial view of things is why the symptomatic approach of drugs usually lead to more problems than you started with. On top of this, even if you ran every possible medical test and put them all together to produce the most complete understanding of a situation possible, those tests simply do not take the underlying control system of the human body into account. These tests are never about the physics of the body that actually causes the error they're seeing. And so medical testing is always partial testing at its best. Family, community, and friends, I invite you to have a Nest Wellness Scan to understand what your body's symptoms are really saying to you. Remember, disease care is an inharmonious state in mind and body brought about by error thoughts. Yes, it is possible to have a nest scan in seconds to reveal to you what is happening to your body. Thank you for tuning into the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, bioenergetic wellness specialist and host of the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show, encouraging you to become your own wellness doctor and step up out of disease care. Emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery and shift out of chronic disease care stress and know the divine being that you are. Peace and blessings on this September 2nd, 2020 live broadcast radio show. Taking those deep breaths with you. I may be back live and it may be the end of the show. See you next week and thank you for tuning in. If it's the end of the show. Peace, blessings, and love. Are you at your wit's end because there seems to be no solution to your healthcare problem? Is it okay for me to say to you that you can have peace of mind? Take back control of your health. Are you experiencing anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, any fictitious disease? Whatever your symptoms or diagnoses are, there is a conscious solution to transform the cause of your pain. Not treat symptoms or mask it. No prescription medication, no over-the-counter drugs, no organs removed are required. Take back control of your health by the renewing of your mind. You can create wellness today. Contact Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web. www.celllife.com. Is it time for a new approach to your health care? Are you ready to leave the dark ages of disease care management and pharmaceuticals? If your answer is yes, get ready to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal healthcare prescription plan with Dr. K. She is a certified lenthologist and Nest healthcare provider, sharing the new science of information as medicine and cellular ecology. Did you know that the field of epigenetics states that you are more than just your genes, and those genes do not control your biology? Yes, that's correct. Schedule a Skype, phone, or office visit with Dr. K and get on board the friendship train to healthcare freedom. 202-248-7749. That's 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web for celllife.com. The number 4, the words cell, CELLLIFE.com. Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your Nest Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website for celllife.com. The number 4, CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation. 202-248-7749.
We gotta help one another. I'm my sister and my brother.
host, Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, sharing. I'm sharing with you the bioenergetic conversation, energetically speaking, as part of my live broadcast shows. And sometimes it will be a live show from me, but not live broadcast. And this is the way that I will be doing them, as my body continues to readjust itself from the stroke that I had, that my body experienced 2 years ago. That's sort of been reactivated this year. As I traveled more out into the community, I began to stomp my toe, which creates a vibration in my body that makes me not walk as well. And so I'm readjusting right now. And so you will hear me do more of the bioenergetically speaking broadcast, and I might not be live, but we're always live. You know how they say, is it Memorex or is it live? You can't tell the difference unless you're told. Thank you for joining me today. As always, I say, emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery. Yes, most definitely it's time to truly break the chain of mind control about your health care and the field of medicine that is performed by medical doctors. We need to really think about that, and it just may be time for you to join the self-care revolution. There's a lot of things that's going on in the world that makes you want to sit back and say, do I have control over my human body, over my energetic being, over my healthcare choices, and how I should be? There's many factors that will have you adjust the way you think or make you feel like you need to go do something, like schedule yourself for a test, like you have your annual test of your health every year to get someone to tell you where you are. And something happens in the community that makes you do the same thing. Somebody feel like within their own vibration that it's important to tell someone to, let's go get tested. Let's a group of us go get tested together for something, and we can support one another. And if we have it, because the tests are truth, false education being accepted as reality, because of that false evidence that appears so real, the way that it was interpreted to you, that make you think that you are weak, that you have no control over this physical body, and that it has to be governed by someone else. And so you do what they say because you want to live. You want to be here in the world. You got a lot of things to do. You in love with someone. You have your children. You have your family. You have your parents. And you just have the vibration of love for life, and you want to be here, so you forget who you really are, and you choose to do it their way. We had a brother that recently did that was so loved by so many people because of one movie, The Black Panther, brought into reality a cartoon character with a black star in it, Chadwick Boseman. Nobody knew that he was going through something for 4 years. It didn't physically show yet. It hadn't taken a toll on him. People's weight go up and down, so you can't tell. But people's reflection in their skin tone gets dark and rubbery, and then may come back into a better level. It may get a little bit lighter. You can't tell what's going on with the person and the person's health from their appearance sometimes. But he was showing it. But nobody realized it, because he kept it to himself, to his family. They didn't spill what he was going through, so he could have strength, so he could stand tall while he went through what he went through. But then we know those drugs, and definitely that chemo wears a toll on your body. Wears a toll on your body, because they're attacking everything with poisons. and that poisons eventually catch up with you one way or the other. And you will leave this planet, or you will stay in this planet in a stuck state in some convalescent home somewhere until they decide to let you go. And people are not even standing for that anymore with their loved ones. So on this Black and Nice Truth post that I put out, and which I'm doing now in honor of Black and Nice Inc., the nonprofit that I founded with Brother Humam Abdul-Malik, where I handle the education and training side, programs and services director of that nonprofit organization. And you can support us anytime by going to blackandeyes.com.weebly, blackandeyes.weebly.com, and make your donations to support our Conscious Chess Moves program for deaf and youth. So this is a Black and Nice Truth post that I put out after I was informed about Chadwick Boseman's transition and the fact that he had gone through chemo and 4 years of treatment without telling a soul, while making these fantastic movies about black revolutionary conscious speaking individuals. Black and Nice Truth. Black people, please, for God's sake, as they say, giving more power to the people. Black people, please rethink using pharmaceuticals. They are drugs. Please rethink using pharmaceuticals on a daily basis for any man-made mindset of consciousness about diseases when your body is having cellular malfunctions that can be corrected. Black people, please rethink using pharmaceuticals. They are not the same as the old drugs. They wasn't so dense. They wasn't so impactful on the human body, even though they always have been. But nowadays, they've gotten smart in how they create these drugs. So they're not the same as the old drugs that our parents and our great-great-grandparents was on, and thank God for the ones that didn't do drugs at all. So the Black and Nice Truth. Black people, please rethink using pharmaceuticals. They are not the same as the old drugs. And also rethink all elective surgeries. All surgeries where they want to do exploratory, just to see if anything's going on with your organs by cutting on your flesh, on your human body. Black people, please rethink all elective surgeries. Most surgeries of removing organs are not needed. We get the flood out. We change the terrain. We allow the organs and the intersecting areas to be free of debris, viruses and bacteria and clogged up protein foods in the body. Surgeries of removing organs are not needed, no matter how dire it is said to be. Yes, our bodies function without organs, but how well is the body functioning without that organ? We have to really, really think about it. Standard procedures removing organs of the body is not health care. It's not health care. It is disease care. And that's why we must leave that state of consciousness about diseases and know that we create cellular malfunctions. So black people, Black and Nice Truth, please rethink using pharmaceuticals. They are not the same as the old drugs. And also rethink all elective surgeries. Most surgeries of removing organs are not needed, no matter how dire it is said to be. And please, cancer diagnosis, which they're trying to make number one now because of how the word cancer really means what's going on in your body. Oh, heart disease is now cancer, so heart disease can't be number one no more. You know what I'm saying? We got to change things in the way we're thinking. It is the biggest threat to mankind. Chemotherapy. Chemo destroys the human being. This is bioenergetic frequency, vibration, holographic image that we in. Yes. The cancer diagnosis is the biggest threat to mankind. Chemo destroys the human being from the inside out. The body knows how to heal itself. With your cooperation, you see, you are driving this energetic human body frequency through your vibrations as an energetic being. The body knows how to heal itself. Let's trust that. Let's honor that. Let's feel that within. The body knows how to heal itself. With your cooperation, your human cooperation, the governor of this body. In this time of covert maskology, covert lying about the effects and effects of viruses on the body, in the air, we have to let it go. And that's why, as you heard me say earlier, and on every show and everywhere you hear me speak, it's time to emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery. It's time to become your own wellness doctor. You know, this is the 10th anniversary of CELL, C-E-L-L, celebration of Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day, April 30th of every year. Emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery, family. For in the silence reveals answers. There is a season for silence. There is a reason for silence. And a season to break the silence once you enter into the silence. And it is the silence. It is in the silence that there is light and no noise, frequency and vibration. For in the silence there is light and no noise, no chatter, no confusion. Go into the silence. Go into the silence. There is a season for silenceness, and only you know. For when you come out of the silence and take that deep reconnecting breath to all that there is, when you come out of the silence, there is light. The light is bright. It's magnifying. And it is showing you the way from the wisdom that was spoken to your soul, to the conscious mind, to your being. You felt it. You felt it. This is a season of silence for you to return to yourself, a return to love. Laws of vibrational energy is you. And how are you aligning with that love, that sacred love? How are you aligning with it? And are you making conscious self-health care moves? Mental observation view is essential for self-success. Not in the past tense. Being in the positive, thoughtful, mindful, conscious state of what you're saying and what you're doing in that particular moment, so you won't have to go back and view anything much at all, because you are in true alignment. Is it time for you to go into the silence, meditating on your breath, sending the message to the lymphatic system to purify itself? It's time, family. It's time to be tuned into yourself. It's time to recognize and know and understand. We must be prepared to climb every mountain, no matter how difficult the terrain may seem. Because believe me, the terrain in your body, the way the terrain is your body, it will take care of that virus, of that bacteria, that fungi, what's ever there. The terrain is more important than the name of any virus that they give. The path may be steep and arduous, but it will lead us to our greatest horizon and our dream of our reality, that we are in control of this human body, how it works, and how we choose to move it around here on planet Earth. And again, there's a lot going on, family, and we have to be in control of our thoughts and our emotions. We have to have more than faith, but faith is the beginning, because as the great Martin Luther King Jr. said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase, because you feel that deep, 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 deep vibration of life, that vibration of love, that vibration of peace and harmony. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, all is well, because it's mind over medicine. And we got to love beyond the reasons of a man-made mindset of human consciousness. So life is right now, family. How are you creating it in this time of covert maskology? The process of mainly having you fear yourself and your breath. During this time, family, I want to tell you on this energetically speaking talk that I'm having today, 9/20/2020, September the 2nd, 2020. They started this delusional thought process in our minds in February. I want to say they started in January. They was getting ready. They was putting out all kinds of little things. Then they slapped us all in the face come March and said, stay in your house, put a mask on, stay 6 feet away from people, don't breathe around people, don't feel the love of life, don't go out into nature, don't go out into the waters, don't go to the beaches, don't go anywhere but stay in your house, stuck with dead energy and dead air. To what? Clog up your body, your being, and your mind, family, community, and friends. As a poet of the love of words, speaking the vibrational truth of life that comes through me, I want to tell you, as I tell myself through these times and all times, taking that deep breath, feeling your body relax, and know that life is beautiful and wonderful. It is never ever mean, cruel, or unkind. It is always loving and good. We love with a free heart and an open heart. We let the universe lead our life because we are one with each other. I tell you, never give your power. Never ever give your power to people, places, or things. You are in control of your life. Live by the divine words, his words, her words, the actions. Keep a loving mind. Love the laws of vibrational energy. You see, do not criticize yourself. Don't go there. Do not criticize yourself no matter what. Say loving words of inspiration to yourself to change your habitual actions that are not in alignment with how you need to be living life at a certain time. I say life is beautiful, and I say life is wonderful. What you give life, your states of consciousness, what you give life, how you project your states of consciousness, what you give life, it will give it right back to you. The same way that you gave it. You may not know it. You may not see it. You think you making choices, but you living from what you planted in the subconscious mind. That's why you can't keep that create that reality from the conscious state of mind. But I'm here to tell you that the power of life is in the power of the deepest part of your mind, awareness of the reality that you're living. And that's why you must remember righteous thoughts. You have righteous thoughts, and righteous things will happen for you, because your life is beautiful and wonderful. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Don't see nothing different. Don't vibrate to this negativity of COVID-19 maskology, trying to put a mask over the world and want everybody to be the same way, fearful of life, fearful of citizens, fearful of your breath. No, life is beautiful and wonderful. But just remember, whatever you experience in your life is really but the outpouring of your own thoughts, beliefs, understanding, acceptance of truth. When I say to you that no one else can keep you out of your kingdom or put you in it either, the story of life is really the story of the relationship between yourself, your inner self, your higher self, the universe, however you choose to name it. The energy is information. And life is beautiful and wonderful. And whatever you experience in your life is really but the outpouring of your own thoughts and beliefs. No one else can keep you out of your kingdom or put you in it either. The story of your life is really the story of the relationship between yourself, the inner self, the outer self, the self of who you think you are. I say to you, if you don't like the picture that you're seeing, you don't like what you're experiencing, remember, family, no one else can keep you out of your kingdom or put you in it either. Change your thoughts. Put your new thoughts into action now. You need some new thoughts. If you're thinking that your life is not beautiful and wonderful, and that you are no longer in control of it, and that you must stagnate the human body in connection to life by stagnating your breath, breathing back in that carbon dioxide, when the trees need it, they want it, they want to absorb it. Like I shared with you on last week's show, the trees need it, and they transform that congestion of carbon dioxide that you put out, that is not congestion to them, it's life. And then the trees give you the pure oxygen. And the air is oxygen. It goes into your body. The formula, oxygen pumps your cells, equal electricity, equals power, energetic power. Power this human body by your energetic understanding. We have to do it because your life is beautiful and wonderful. And that's why I say let the spiritual life into this human world's life. You see, the world you live in is make-believe. Oh yeah. The world you live in is make-believe. How close are you going to stay in that make-believe world? You got to leave the man-made mindset of human consciousness. You see, the world you see with the conscious eye, the inner eye, the third eye, the loving eye, the love eye. It's captured by the Creator's eye. Yes, it is. And I'm here to tell you, as I tell myself, this world is beautiful and wonderful. Your life is beautiful and wonderful. You see, the soul of the earth needs nothing for it to grow something. Do you hear what I'm saying to your family, community, and friends? I said the soul of the earth, that is who you are in this flesh. You are the soul of the earth. You have everything in you that you need You have a powerful, powerful, powerful immune system that has a guardian angel, the lymphatic system that is governed by the breath of life when you come into this world that connects you to nature. Again, nature is no respecter of person. You have to understand the power of who you are. The soil of the earth needs nothing for it to grow something. You see, life, it just needs to be. It distinctly knows what to do. And I tell you, so do you. Vibrate with the truth of who you are. Live by the laws of vibrational energy. That's self-love, that's self-care, that's self-respect, that's self-knowledge, that's self-understanding. You got to have it with assurance. You got to know. And that's why you can't walk around here with this mask on, doing what you're doing to yourself. That's why I say you got to plant the seeds of positive thoughts and think solution thoughts, and your life will unfold as the universe has planned. I tell you, life is beautiful and wonderful. It is never ever mean, cruel, or unkind. It is always loving and good. And never ever think that nature is against you and not for you. Take those masks off and understand covert maskology is the study of self-inflicted stagnation in the process of cell life and activity, creating an internal environment of a pond of water that blocks energy flow and cellular intercommunication, stopping or blocking the release of carbon dioxide from the body into the air, causing the reabsorption of toxicity. This process of covert maskology is blocking the common intake of pure oxygen from nature and the natural means of self-surviving as a human being. The goal is to contain a germ, not thinking about the damage done to the human body by blocking the proper exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Breathing is the natural mechanic of human life and should not be stagnated by wearing a mask for the daily living of the human body. I'm Karen Khadijah, Mom Abdul Malik, Davis-Foulks. We're partners, we're friends, and we support each other. Karen Davis-Foulks, also known as Khadijah Abdul Malik, taking a deep breath with you and asking you to stay tuned into yourself, loving yourself. And we as black people's comedic boycott ham, that hashtag connects us. And no matter how you feel about what's going on now in this illusion of COVID maskology time, yes, I'm talking to our black people mostly. I say to you, with love, with kindness, and an open heart, black bashing don't look good. Let people have their thoughts and their thinking, even if you are not in agreement with it. I say, just because you don't like my form of health care and my post, my conversation, my radio show, nothing is negative in any way. And all I do is promote self-health care, self-love, by encouraging you all to become your own wellness doctor, learn some anatomy, some physiology, some pathology, read for yourself, get in tune with yourself, know that you don't create diseases, it's just a negative thought in your thinking, you create cellular malfunctions. It is time, it is time, it is time, it is time. We all have a right to say how we feel. And that's why there's no black bashing from me with your words that I may see that may not be in alignment with me. You feel that you have the right to report me for your inability to allow people to have their say. People don't like you on social media. They want to try to shut your accounts down. They want to try to block what you got to say. But I'm here to tell you that we have a right to free speech. We have a right to our own medical choices. We have a right to take care of this human body. But we don't have the right to bash anybody for their own thinking of their freedom of speech, even when it's not in alignment with yourself. So I say to you all, take a deep, deep breath in this time of COVID massology that has people going through a whole lot. You got to stay tuned into yourself. You got to love yourself beyond measure. And remember what Baba Tim Morrow said to us. Growing old does not make us sick. Growing old does not make us sick. It's growing sick that makes us old. And we have to shift that energy. It's time to shift out of a man-made mindset of human consciousness and love yourself. And how do you do that? As my mentor in this field of so-called religion, I like the field that I work from and that this gentleman worked from, Reverend Ike. And that's why I can say to you, Thinkonomics is a way of thinking that gives you the opportunity to learn the truth about yourself. And how do we change things when we don't like what we see about ourselves? He said, from the words that was written, be ye transformed. I said, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's time to renew your mind. It's time to understand who you are.
Wake up. Yeah.
Wow, family, that was a great show. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in to the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show right here on Inner Radio. It was a pleasure having you tuning in. Now, you must tell a friend to tune in. And if you haven't called in and shared your wellness story, don't you think it's time that you help somebody with your wellness story? Call in, share your story, join the conversation. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, and I invite you to visit my website, ConsciousSelfCare.com. Or you can just go to the number 4, the word CELLLIFE.com. Leave me some information. I would love to talk with you. And once again, I look forward to you joining us next Wednesday right here on the Conscious Self Healthcare Radio Show. It's a conversation where we uplift each other, where we share our wellness stories so we can help someone move from disease care to conscious self health care. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to hearing from you next Wednesday.